Hello and welcome. I'm Melanie Parker. I have been a student at TOCAL College. I've completed a Certificate 3 in beekeeping, and my husband and I run a commercial beekeeping business in Yungai Creek, which is regional New South Wales. It's a beautiful day out here in the beekeeping apiary. What I'm going to take you through in this presentation is, first of all, I'm going to share with you a little bit about my beekeeping story and what it's like for me being a commercial beekeeper. I'm also going to look at who is the best candidate for doing a Certificate 3 course in beekeeping through TOCAL College and why you might wish to enroll in doing the course that I have done. I'll talk about my favourite subjects. We'll go through the total subjects that are covered throughout the Certificate 3, and I'll also discuss what kind of things I liked most about the course, what were the benefits for me. Let's also take a little bit of a look at women in beekeeping today, because one thing I've really noticed as I'm travelling around New South Wales is that there are not many women in beekeeping doing what I'm doing, and the great news is there is a huge opportunity for more ladies to join me and to be in these beautiful surroundings. Now, before we get into the presentation, I would love to take you for a look into the beehives. Does that sound good? Come on, get your bee suit on, come with me, and let's go take a look in the apiary. Are out here working on the canola fields right now. It's time to suit up. Let's go and see what the bees are doing. It's a little bit of a chilly afternoon though. Don't forget to put your protective gloves on. Here comes Shane in the Happy Honey Bee truck, bringing some extra supers for a big day of work. Now I'm going to take you inside the hive. We give the hive a light smoke, lift the lid. This is the honey super. We'll pull out a frame of honey to show you how much the bees are working it. And that's about 2/3 full at the moment. Filling up nicely. Lift the super box off. And there you'll see the queen excluder. Smoke again to keep the queen down, keep the bees calm. Lift the queen excluder. We're going to pull out the second frame in from the outside gently to be careful not to hurt the queen. We can see brood, honey and pollen on this frame. Let's find a frame that's got a lot more brood for you to have a close look. There you go. Nice spring brood. Building the bees nicely. Here's a look inside a honey super with the bees actively working on the honey. A nice close-up for you. And look at this sensational frame of pollen. So many different colours. So healthy for the bees. let's take a more detailed look at the Certificate 3 in Beekeeping in TOCAL College. Thanks for your time here with me today. Let's get started. My beekeeping story began when we had moved into a regional area of New South Wales, away from the cities, and my husband was looking for a new business opportunity. It was when we watched an episode of Landline on ABC that we saw a story about beekeepers in our local area. And we did know of some local beekeepers that lived not too far away from us. So after my husband did some volunteer work with them and learned a little bit more about the industry, that was when we began our journey in beekeeping. And we started our business called Happy Honey. We focus mainly on honey production and a little bit of pollination as well. When I first started, I was very much casual or part-time, really for about the first 2 to 3 years. I would occasionally go out into the apiaries with my husband and help just carry some queen cells or some empty supers just to be an assistant. But then after we attended the Beekeepers Field Day at TOCAL College, and my husband was giving me a little bit of a nudge to get more involved in our beekeeping business, I then did enroll for the actual Certificate 3 in beekeeping. So we were originally starting in our bees with about 200 hives, and I believe at the time that I started my Certificate 3 at TOCAL, we had about 400 hives at that time. Now, about 12 months after completing the course at the time of this presentation, I'm now very much a full-time beekeeper. I was put on the fast track and we are now managing around 600 hives or a little bit more currently with my husband and I, traveling all over New South Wales and loving the business opportunity. So why would someone do the Beekeeping Certificate 3 course at TOCAL College? There are 3 main reasons: to gain knowledge, accreditation, and connection. But first, if we look at who is ideal as a student in this type of course, I would definitely recommend this for larger enterprises, beekeeping, commercial businesses who are employing people. And the sooner that they can enroll and get started on this type of course, the better. This has been great for someone like me. We are running a small partnership business, and so it was a fast way for me to be able to gain knowledge and to contribute in a positive way to our business. But there are also many hobbyist beekeepers, people who have an interest in the beekeeping world, and it is a great course for people like that as well. When it comes to the knowledge gained from this course, there is an in-depth look across all essential areas of beekeeping. So it's more than just understanding how to manage a hive. It is covering many different aspects of running a beekeeping business and to be able to manage an apiary or apiaries as a whole. As far as accreditation goes, it is great to get the recognition of the knowledge and the skills. This, of course, can help someone gain employment within the beekeeping industry, anyone who is looking to get started in beekeeping. And of course, it's good for beekeepers to be able to broaden their own business opportunities. The course also provides a great opportunity for connection. It gives us a chance to meet, connect with, and learn from other beekeepers, as well as to learn from the teachers and the trainers within the course. So what did I like most about the course? I absolutely loved the combination of the theory. There was a lot of practical demonstrations and hands-on learning. So for a lot of the subjects, we were doing face-to-face learning on campus with a lecturer teaching us the information in theory. But then they would also do a demonstration within the classroom with some tools there to show us a demonstration. And then we took it to the next level where we would go out into the field, and that's where we would be going out into the apiary that was on campus with TOCAL College and actually get into the beehives. And that was a perfect way of learning. There is a depth of quality and well-rounded information within the course to be able to establish people as successful beekeepers all round. I also loved the time commitment to do the course. It does work well for commercial beekeepers to be able to supplement their hours. So I found that I could still work full-time in beekeeping and manage to do the course without being overwhelmed at the same time. And I believe a big part of that is the time that is allowed to complete the course. Part of it is done on specific dates face-to-face, but then there is a lot of self-paced learning as well. So we are given a time frame to complete the course. We are encouraged to finish it as fast as we can. However, it is okay to pace it out if you need to do it. And I found that worked really well for someone that was working at the time of going through the training. So to explain a little bit more about the mix of the learning styles, first of all, there are some subjects that I did on campus learning. So these were subjects that were roughly 2 days face-to-face for each subject. And these were classroom presentations and practical in-field lessons. It was a great place to be able to meet up, get to know a lot of people, and to be able to get into the hives and learn about the bees as well. But then there's also online learning with course content that is self-paced. That again is a combination of written materials, of video demonstrations, and a lot of different modalities of learning, and it's self-paced, so you can fit it into your lifestyle where it suits you. The third thing is we were given a really great group of resource books. I found these as perfect reference tools that I can review from time to time and use as ongoing learning. So when it comes to a time when I might be starting a new season in beekeeping and I need to reflect on some of the theory for that particular task or the need in my bees at that time, I can pull out the appropriate book, find the information, and have that information come back and help me along the way. So the resource books give really great written information, but also beautiful graphics as well, and they're nicely made. Within the Certificate 3 in Beekeeping at TOCAL College, there are many subjects from the basics as far as opening and reassembling a hive and learning how to use the bee smoker, to finding a bee site, transporting the bees, extracting the honey, and so many more things. There are a group of core units which everyone will go through, and then there are some elective units where we could choose some areas that we wanted to specialize in. So for me personally, my favorite subjects were learning about how to manipulate the honeybee brood. This is especially important for our business as we come into spring management. I also loved rearing queen bees because it was something that is important for us and something so new to learn. And then recognizing plants was a whole new world for me where I knew it was important information and I definitely needed help to be able to learn what type of trees and plants are best for our bees and where we can find the best resources in nectar and pollen at different times of the year for our bees. So when it came to rearing queen bees, it was a lot of new information. It was quite detailed and new information for me. It was challenging, but I loved every minute of it. And so that photo there of me is when I went back to my own apiary and put my training into practice for the first time, rearing some queen cells. And I wasn't the best at it, first of all, but we get a little bit better every time we try, and it was a whole bunch of fun. The other thing I really enjoyed and also found extremely beneficial was the subject that was about recognizing plants. And so for me, this is such a valuable tool because I came into the industry with no knowledge about what type of trees and plants are best for the bees to be able to forage for nectar and pollen. And I just loved learning how to recognize some of the trees that we are seeing as we travel all over New South Wales. When it comes to recognizing plants, I would absolutely recommend this book for every beekeeper because this has been my guide that I can go to as I'm traveling around and I see a different type of tree that's flowering, but I'm not sure what it is. I can locate it within the book and then read up about it in the resource pages. I can at a glance get a rating score and know how good it usually is for bees. I can get a snapshot of where it's roughly located within the local area, and then I can learn about how great is it for honey, how great is it for pollen. And so this book has really become one of my essentials as I'm traveling around and looking for new sites for our bees. So for us, beekeeping is not just a job, it has become a lifestyle for us. We have had many adventures traveling all over New South Wales. We mainly have had our bees on private property, so we get to meet so many farmers around the area. Inland, on the coast, lots of different great people and fun along the way. So for us, we pack up the van, we take the dogs with us, and we turn it into a traveling work lifestyle. So lots of adventures along the way. Finally, when it comes to women in beekeeping, there is a lot of room for more women to enter the industry. I have not seen many women in beekeeping as I travel around and meet the different beekeepers that are on the road. When I first began, I really thought that there's probably not much that I could do in the apiary. I thought that I wouldn't be strong enough or able to work hard enough. But I have found that from lifting honey supers to even driving the bee truck, I've learned that there really are a lot of tasks that I can do and I can contribute to the business in a way that is beneficial. So really, my wish is to see a lot more female beekeepers. Don't let traditional standards hold you back. If you are a lady today watching this, whether you are younger or a little bit older, I would say that there's a role for you and encourage you to get in there and have a go. TOCAL College is a way that can give us the education and the training to get there. So I say, ladies, let's dive in and break the mold with doing our Beekeeping Certificate 3 at TOCAL College. So I would love to see more women in beekeeping. So now your beekeeping adventure is waiting for you. Whether you are younger or a little bit older, whether you are male or female, there are so many roles and opportunities for you within the beekeeping world. The other thing is that we do need a lot more younger people to enter the beekeeping industry as well. So I encourage the younger people here to be able to consider an opportunity to make beekeeping a career for you. My husband and I, we look back now as someone who got into the industry when we were already starting to get a little bit older, and we look back now and wish that we had started years and years ago. It's perfect for someone to begin in their 20s, in their 30s, and to be able to gain that depth of knowledge and experience along the way, because the bees always teach you something new every season, every year, almost every hive. So your beekeeping adventure is waiting for you, and thank you very much for your time today.